All right, we got Stephen Nguyen on the show. He's going to take on Aalon Cruz, July 30th, Dana White's Contender Series. Happy to have the Ninja on the program. Stephen, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. Happy to be here.
And I'm happy to have you here. And one of the things I wanted to ask you about, because I spoke with Miles Johns a couple of weeks ago after he fought on the Contender Series. He won a UFC contract to boot, and he said that you've been preparing for this fight with him and everyone over at Fortis MMA, and there's certainly a lot of great things going on with that team, one of the top teams in the world right now. How did that all come to be?
Hey, Miles is my boy, man. He's from the same hometown as me, and actually a couple years ago, he told me to come down to Fortis and train with the guys, and I came down there, and I immediately clicked with the coach and the teammates there, and I definitely saw the potential. What you're saying is 100% true. It's one of the best teams in the world, and that's 100% the reason why I'm here. And I've been training my ass off, and I'm ready to go.
Seeing Miles go out there and do what he did, put on the performance that he had, get the contract, especially with an injury on top of that, which makes it even more impressive to me. How much did that fire you up knowing that you're going to have the same opportunity just a few weeks down the road?
Man, it's nothing but motivation. I already knew he was going to get the contract, but just to see it happen live and, the whole gym, we were all watching at the same time, it fired me up because I'm next, baby. I'm next in line, and it's going to be my time to shine on fight night.
We're a little over 2 weeks away from this fight, your opportunity to fight in front of Dana White and the UFC matchmakers, much like your friend and teammate Miles Johns did. How has everything been going in preparation?
Man, I've been putting in the extra hours. I'm training twice as hard. I'm staying after practice. I'm working hard. I'm eating, training, and sleeping, and that's literally all I've been doing. I'm focused 100% on this fight, and I can't wait to get in there and just show everybody what I'm all about. The people that don't know who I am, I'm just ready to let everybody know, who I am. And I'm excited. It's gonna be fireworks. It's gonna be fireworks. I'm already fired up just talking about it right now. So I'm excited.
Well, one thing they can learn about you is heading into this fight, your last fight, you became the Evolution FC featherweight champion. You took on Brandon Bailey. You finished the fight in the 4th round. Talk about that fight and what it meant to you to finish that one and capture that title for an organization that you've competed for most of your professional career and one you fought for on their very first show.
Yeah, that was a really good fight for me. I learned a lot in that fight. It was I usually finish a lot of my fights in the first round. That fight went all 4 rounds. I fought against a pretty tough jiu-jitsu black belt, and I was able to pull out a finish with him late in the 4th round. It taught me that I could dig deep. I can fight 4 rounds, and to tell the truth, I'm 2 times better than I was already just from that last fight. But that was a great fight for me, and I think that was one of the fights that propelled me to the position to where I am right now. And I'm just focused 100% on this upcoming fight and ready to face on my opponent.
So when that belt gets wrapped around your waist, I mean, like I said, you were at the first ever Evolution FC card, and then fast forward a couple of years later, you're the champion. What did that moment mean to you, especially getting this opportunity later to fight for fight on the Contender Series?
UFC is a great organization, especially in Kansas, and I fought in my hometown, and it was a great feeling. All my friends, my family, everybody was there. I have huge support back at home. Shout out to my sponsors. Shout out to my gym. Everybody there that has supported me since day one. It's a great feeling to be the champion there and to lead by example. But now it's on to bigger and better things, baby.
And now you get Aalon. He's a Tampa, Florida guy, 7-2. He's got 3 straight victories under his belt. What's your familiarity with Aalon? Because it's interesting with the Contender Series matchups because the circle of competition is just much larger. The net is much bigger. But did you know much about him when the fight was offered, and what have you learned about him along the way?
I actually haven't heard about him when I got offered the fight, but you bet I'm on it right now. I've been studying. Me and my coach, we have a full game plan. We are 100% prepared for this fight, and on fight night it will show. I know this guy now. When I know this guy, I know his. Obviously anything can happen during the fight, but I'm just gonna say we're ready. We're more than ready. So I'm excited.
Who are some of the guys specifically you've been working with to get you ready for this one? I mean, there's a ton of talent at Fortis MMA, so I'm sure finding great training partners has been quite easy to come by. Who have you been working with specifically?
I've been training with all the lightweights at Fortis MMA. Damon Jackson. We got Steven Ocho Peterson that's already actually fighting here this week against Alex Caceres. Elijah Johns, which is Miles' brother. He's a big, strong southpaw. with heavy hands, good wrestling, and just everybody, man. Everybody at Fortis MMA. I even been training with Jeff Neal, the guy, 170-pounder, very, very strong knockout artist. And like I said, I've just been putting in hours and hours and hours, even after practice, and it's going to show on fight night.
Have you gotten a lot of wisdom from Jeff? Because when I talked to Miles, he said one of the things that he always puts in his head are things that Jeff Neal used to say to him. Like, it's one of the things that he really took away from Jeff was, hey, it's great to be on the roster, but if you don't go in there and rattle off a couple of wins in the octagon, like, are you really a UFC fighter? Have you taken some words of wisdom from Jeff and been able to grow with those?
Jeff, he's like the nicest guy ever, man. He's a beast in the cage, but he's such a humble guy, and I think everybody looks up to him in the gym and wants to follow his lead by being very humble. But I mean, at the end of the day, all that matters is winning. You know, at the end of the day, all that matters is winning, and everybody in the gym, we all understand that. Seth, our coach, puts that mentality in our head that all that matters at the end of the day is to win. And we put in the grind, we put our head down with the grind, and then we show up, and that's it. But Jeff, he's a nice guy, and he's definitely one of the top guys in the gym, and people look up to him for sure. I do.
You mentioned in your last fight that it was cool to fight in your hometown, to have friends and family, and everyone screaming and hollering for you. I'm sure the attendance to watch you fight was pretty massive. Are you a guy that gets fired up by the people who watch you fight? And the reason I ask is, obviously, when you're fighting at the Apex, it's a much different feel with it being a much more intimate setting, much smaller crowd. You can hear everything from the strikes to the footsteps to the coaches shouting out instructions. Like, for someone who feeds off the crowd energy, it's definitely a different kind of a feeling when you're in the fight. Is that something that's going to seem strange to you, or do you block out the crowd when you're in there?
I actually talked about this with Miles. You know, he said, man, like, you're fighting, you can hear everything, and people are clapping, and then it'll stop. It'll be silent. Even when people win, it's silent. He told me all this stuff, but I think I'm going to be able to adapt to it because I'm already expecting it. I'm going to be able to listen to my coach. I'm going to be able to be tunnel vision even more. People are not people. At the end of the day, I'm in there to fight. And once I'm in there, I don't hear anybody. Everything is instinct. It's autopilot. Once I'm in there, it's autopilot. People or not, it's not going to change the outcome. I'm going to go in there, I'm going to engage, and I'm going to win this fight, and that's all that matters.
I have to say, because you had mentioned that just talking about this fight fires you up, and I can see it and I can hear it. As you're all fired up and jacked up for this thing, how do you see this all going down in 15 days? You versus Aalon Cruz, Dana White's Contender Series in Las Vegas. How are you visualizing this thing playing out on July 30th?
Well, every single time I visualize it, I replay the fight in my head all the time, every single day, over and over and over, in every scenario, every situation, bad situation, good situations, every single scenario I have my hand raised. So I can finish this fight in the first round. I can finish it later in the third round. But my mentality the whole time is to be on it, pressure, engage, be impressive, and win this fight, you know, and be me. And not do anything that's outside of our game plan. We're going to go in there, and we're just going to beat this guy up and get this contract, plain and simple.
With all the fighters who come on here that are fighting on the Contender Series, I always ask this question because it means different things to different fighters. So all goes well, you go in there, everything that you visualize comes to fruition, you have that great performance. Dana White says, Stephen Nguyen, welcome to the UFC. What will that all mean to you? What will being a member of the UFC roster mean to you?
It's going to mean everything. I've been working this for my whole life since I was 5 years old, just going to just little kids karate class, man, just to wrestling in high school, amateur days, to starting off pro. But at the end of the day, I'm actually just getting started. I mean, if I get that contract, I'm going to be more than happy. But the mindset that everybody at our gym has, just because you get this contract doesn't mean you're a UFC fighter. Yeah, I'm going to be a UFC fighter once I get my first UFC win. Of course, this is all my hard work that's going to pay off. This is the biggest fight of my life. And I'm going to be more than happy. Like I said, once I get this contract, it's going to be the biggest thing. My family's going to be there. The whole world's watching. But it's just going to mean it's time to do more work, and it's going to time to grind even harder and tap into that next level.
You said you visualized this fight in all different scenarios, good, bad, indifferent, first round finish, third round finish. Have you allowed yourself to visualize that Dana White interview with Laura Sanko, talking about your fight, calling your name, you sitting there just waiting? Is it a yes or is it a no? Have you allowed yourself to visualize that situation yet?
Tell the truth, no. A little bit, like I've thought about it, like what's going to happen, but like I haven't really thought about that much. I'm too focused on the actual fight itself because that's all that matters right now. And once I win that fight, everything else will come natural. I'll the Lorosenko interview, meeting Dana White, that's going to come naturally. That's going to be awesome. That's just going to, I don't need to think about that. I don't need to visualize that. I'm just going to go there. I'm going to do my thing, and I'm going to meet them, and it's going to be cool. So I have my 100% focus, 100% attention only on this fight and my fight, and that's it.
What are you guys heading out to Vegas?
We're heading out to Vegas Saturday before the fight. So the fight's on Tuesday. Yeah, Saturday. And yeah, we trying to wait that week, and everything will be good. Everything's going good. My weight's good. Diet's good. Training's good. No injuries. So can't ask for a better training camp.
Very exciting stuff. You got me all fired up for this fight. Stephen Nguyen getting ready to take on Aalon Cruz July 30th in Las Vegas. Dana White's Contender Series. Really looking forward to it. Stephen, before I let you go, let the folks know how to follow along this journey with you via social media. Any shout-outs, sponsors, anything else you want to get off your chest, the floor is yours.
You guys can follow me at Stephen Nguyen 145 on Instagram. Definitely, I post a lot on there, so you guys can check out my updates and follow my journey through there. And definitely shout out to Fortis MMA. Also shout out to my team back in Kansas, Jane, TK, and anybody who ever supports me. And also shout out to my Vietnamese community. I'm here to fight for you guys. There's no Vietnamese fighters right now in the UFC, and I'm here to represent for you guys. So stay tuned and watch me on the come up, baby.
What will that mean to you?
There's Kung Lee, there's Ben Nguyen, there's some guys that have been in the UFC, but right now, currently in the UFC rosters, there's no Vietnamese fighters. It would mean everything to me. I want to be the role model that young Vietnamese fighters, young Vietnamese kids look up to and be behind. And I want to represent our country to the fullest, and I understand that I have that priority and that responsibility on my hands, and I'm going to take that and just run it forward and represent for us.
Great stuff, Stephen. Really appreciate the time. All the best to you on July 30th.
Hey, thank you so much for your time.